Hello, previously we already created the view template and a sheet template, but so far we haven't spoken about how to create annotation on your plan or layout drawing. Of course, to create an annotation, we need to use certain type of categories like text, letters, and other kinds of annotations. By default, they are not available in the project or they do not fit what you would like to see. And today we are going to create them. By the way, recently we created a LinkedIn page. You can follow us and leave a message if you have any kind of questions. How to find us? You can use one of the links in the description of the channel. You can find them here. First annotation that we are going to create, which is essential for every layout or every drawing, is the view name. Yeah, you heard me right. You don't need to create it via the text. And type here like what kind of title this view has. To do that, we need to go and create new family based on the, guess what? View title. So there are already built-in category, especially for view titles, and we're going to create it. Here you will find already there are predefined note, so you can read it and get rid of it, and then you can create your own label. First, what I would like to see here, first of all, you can create as many view titles as you would like to. You can have separate view title for example, details, or section drawings, layouts, of course, I don't know, ceiling plans, all kinds of views that you could imagine. As always, you can also add extra parameters. It's not a problem. You can just find them in your share parameters file and freely add. Here, to make it simple, I will just use the one that's already presenting by default inside of this category. And then, for example, I would like to show scale, and let's see what can be also helpful here. Yeah, well, let's keep it simple. We will have only view name and view scale. I would like to show it on the separate lines. So it will be like that. Then I just need to center it. Let me see. Yeah, you can do it here. If you would like to, you can keep a line here. If you don't want it, you can also delete it. In my case, I don't want to see it. So what I will do, I will just save it as a viewport title family. I will click on save and then load to my project. And now when we loaded our viewport title, we can select it for this view. To do that, we need to go to edit type. Under the title, we need to select family that we would like to use as a title. Then you need to ensure that you always show the title and remove checkbox from show extension line, of course, if you don't want to see that. Then click on apply, and as you can see, view title appeared here. Now I can just move it, and via adjusting the name of the title on the sheet, we can change the text of it. So layout at 0000. And as you can see, it was dynamically adjusted. Now we will give a look to dimensions. As you can see here, we are using the sharing or monitoring grids that we imported from the civil model. Why I would always recommend you to use a monitoring or sharing or to copy the grids from the civil model, because then you have a little bit more flexibility from point of how you can adjust them. As you can see now, when I adjust the regions of the viewport, annotation also shifts in one go. If you will keep it not imported, then it will be not that adaptive. So now we'll just start to add annotation. I will start from dimension. Let's add grids dimensions. As you can see here, it's enabled with a certain precision. Now I will just remove it to 0, because at least in my case right now I don't need such a high precision, especially not for the grids. To change it, you need to go to unit format, and then okay, that will be the one that I would like to use. And then we will add also it here. Here I have a lot more options how you can modify the graphical appearance of the dimensions. You can easily just walk through every row that you can see over here, just to understand how it works, what it does, etc. And then of course you can create your own dimension style. Then you can click on OK. Also I will modify a bit the view template that we created last time. It seems like something was not saved, so I'm going again to adjust the insulation. I will also change the color. I will override the transparency. Then we can click on apply. At least now I will see the insulation. And of course, also the pipes. And then I will add insulation to the missing part, where insulation wasn't added. And I'm going also to remove this coloring, because I don't want to see right now the color scheme. So now what I will add, for example, I'm going to add a few dimensions to this pipeline. So we can go to annotate, and here I can just start to add dimensions to this line. Yeah, so for example, I would like to indicate where it penetrates the wall, location of the support, location of the instruments, drain, for example, I don't know, location of the valve, and connection to the equipment. And now you can see the annotation a little bit too big for this view. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to try to change the scale. As you can see here right now, scale is locked because of the view template. I'm going to modify view template to unlock the scale to see which one will fit the best to the current layout. As you can see, once I changed it, all the annotation also was adjusted. And now we can see it a little bit better. And of course, I think it's clear that it will not fit anymore to A2. Then I think it's still quite dense. I can make it even bigger. And like that I can align it. And of course you can always add extra dimension if you forgot to indicate it. Now I think it's sort of okay. Also, we are going to add another bunch of dimensions. For example, here, 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 of course here, and here. And it will lock our piping system in place. Then, what we need to do, we need to add annotation. So the line number, tag number of supports, and tag numbers of the valves. How you can do that? First way, you can create annotation specifically for category, which I would advise you to do in case of the pipes, because in case of the pipes you would like to see only one annotation, at least in my case it will be system name. To do that, we need to create again a new tag, but specifically for pipes. We need to go new, family, select proper template that we would like to use. In this case it will be a metric generic tag. And here be aware that if you go immediately to labels, you will see only generic labels. If you would like to see category specific labels, you need to convert this generic tag to category specific tag. In my case it will be pipes, so it will be pipe tag. And now when I will try to place this tag or label, it will be shown as a category specific tag, and you will see here all the pipe specific parameters as well as system name. So I will place it somewhere here, ensure that it is aligned from the left side. Then I will call it pipe system tag. We'll save it and then load it to our project. In the meantime, I already changed the size of the view. As you can see right now it's 8.0 and it still doesn't fit. Surprise, surprise. No, there is no surprise that it doesn't fit. So what I will do, I will just minimize this viewport. So I will just keep this portion visible and the rest I will keep outside of the view. Then I will just bring it to the sheet. Then move dimensions here and there. Also we'll move view border. Then of course dimensions can go outside of the view. And here from the top I can also modify it a little bit. And yeah, and we will keep it like that. And now when I click tag by category, by default it will select the tag which is available for this category, and in this case it's only system name tag. As you can see, we forgot to delete this generic annotation, and also extend the border so it will not go to the second line. And as you can see, now we have very nice generic tag. Then here I'm going to add another one. And I just need to displace it. And we don't have here systems anymore, or piping systems. Next will be to add a tag. In my case, tag shouldn't be created as something that specific for only one category. because I have similar parameter assigned to every component that I have in my project. And this is this parameter with the tag value inside of it. You can do it the same way. In your case, you just need to create a shared parameter file. Inside of the shared parameter file, if you have it already or not. Yeah, if not, you need to create it. If you have it already, you need to create a tag associated parameter, and you need to ensure that this tag parameter added to all the categories you would like to be tagged. In my case, a generic model, mechanical equipment, pipe accessories, and I think that's it. At least in my case, yeah? In your case, of course, it can be more. So, now we're going to do that. We are going to create new family. Again, we need to go to English annotations. And under the annotations, we need to find multi-category tag. And in case of the multi-category tag, we just need to add shared parameter from the shared parameters file. In my case, it's stored under the generic. Again, you can download this shared parameters file from our website free of charge. So, as well as the rest of the materials which you can find over there. And then we can select this parameter. Then it will be added to the list, and we can add it as an attribute. Then, only thing I need to do, I need to make sure that it's aligned or alignment from the left side. Okay, first let me save it, and then I'm going to load it to the project. Tag multi-category. Yeah, I will call it like that. Then I can load it back to the Revit project. And now we can add annotation as a multi-category. And as you can see, once I hover the equipment, the tag is appearing above it. Then another one. Also support. Also valve. Another support. Another. Then again valve. Here I have another valve. I just need to move it to visible location. Another one and another one. Let's see if we miss something. No. So now what I will do, I will just give it labels. So it will be PS01 for everybody. And now once I will make sure that it's not clashing with items itself, I will just adjust the value of it. And then I will do the same for valves, because all of them are sharing same parameter. I can modify them in one go. Yeah, as you can see, time to time it has difficulties with how to snap. Also, if you would like to, as in my case, you can enable or disable ladder. In case of the equipment, I would say we can disable it. And then I will just adjust the tag number. I think here... Oh, no, it wasn't tag number. So it's okay. Now I can just change it to, for example, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, this is one of the ways how you can add annotations. There are also another way you can add them automatically, but it doesn't work that well. And also you need to ensure that you have created annotation for every category, because it will attempt to add annotation to every component that you see that it will find on your screen. So be aware of it. And of course it will be quite messy. Well, that's it for today's tutorial. This is how you can create annotation for your layout, to complete it and submit it to your customer. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.